If you have your own business or you're thinking about starting one, you've probably heard the term lead magnet. Essentially, a lead magnet is giving something away for free that is of high value to your audience in exchange for some contact details from them, with the hope of some of those eventually becoming a paid customer in your business. Now, there are many ways that you can build a lead magnet, and in this video, I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can build one using Notion. Now, you may or may not have used Notion before, but these are going to be very easy ways that you can build a lead magnet in only a few hours, no matter what industry you're in, and start giving some free value to your audience. Now, there's 3 things that will make a good lead magnet that you need to be aware of. The first thing is it solves a specific problem in a multi-step process. This is one of the most common ways people give out lead magnets. That will give part of a solution, but then have an open loop with you needing to solve another problem after they've given you that lead magnet, in order for you to take them up on their services or the next stage in what they offer. The second thing that will make a good lead magnet is giving high free value. You don't want to give something that is not going to be of benefit for people. You want to make sure that what you give them will make them think, I can't believe that this is for free. Because when they think that, you can only imagine what they're thinking about what your paid services are going to be like. So you need to make sure that although it is something you're giving for free, you need to have high value in whatever it is this lead magnet is going to be for your business. And the third thing to make a good lead magnet is be clear on giving them the next steps that they can take in your business. So if I'm giving something away for free, I want to make sure that my audience and potential customers know exactly what they can do next if they want to take me up on some services or see what else I have to offer in the business. You need to make sure you're as clear as possible on that, otherwise you're losing a potential customer. So let's get straight into the ways that you can build a lead magnet in Notion so you can get this going as soon as possible. Option 1 is going to be building out a checklist. Now this is good because you can create a detailed and interactive checklist that will guide users through solving a specific problem step by step. An example of this is that I've built a free marketing strategy checklist before, and I'll show you this in a moment. And it will allow the audience who get this lead magnet to see exactly all the things they need to have sorted out step by step in order to execute on their next marketing strategy. So a lot of people sometimes don't know where to start. So if you provide a checklist, it will give them some guidelines to follow before they take action. Now, why this works is it solves a clear problem. So a lot of people don't know, for example, how to build a marketing funnel. So if I was to create a marketing funnel checklist, they'll be able to get some guidance from me into where they need to start. Now, another thing that's beneficial is users can check off tasks directly in Notion, and it makes it highly interactive and actionable for them. So I'll show you in a moment, but when you build out a step-by-step checklist, you can actually create notes on each of these steps so they can track their progress and keep up to date with exactly where they are on the journey of completing this task list. Now, another benefit is the checklist opens up a loop. Users realize that they might need additional help to solve their problem, because sometimes a checklist could be overwhelming with how many things they need to do. So they will then think, okay, if this person knows what they're doing, maybe I should look into their services, which may be something like coaching, or if you have an info product, whatever it may be, but they will look at you to take you up on your potential paid services, because the checklist was just a bit overwhelming for them and they won't be able to do it all themselves. So let me show you this example of my free marketing strategy checklist. This is one I built a few months ago. Now this will show all the most important things they need to be aware of when coming up with a marketing strategy. So I've got things like, have you defined a clear and measurable goal for the next 6 to 12 months? Are your marketing goals aligned with your overall business objectives? Things like this are going to be very important when building out your marketing strategy. And I've also categorized them so you can put it into things like goals, target audience, unique values, and I've just labeled them according to what the specific section is in this checklist. Now, the beneficial thing in here is each of these items in the checklist you can just open, and you can see here people can actually take notes to track their progress based on the step in this checklist. So it's very simple, very easy to build, but at the same time, it's very valuable for your audience. A very easy way to build this is if you just hit the slash in Notion and you just create a database, inline database. I can just call this checklist, and then you can name, for example, do you have goals? This is just obviously a very basic example. You want to add another column, And here is where you'll be able to do whatever it is it may be. So I've got a category selection. So I'm going to hit select, and then you can name it category, and I can add options. So it could be marketing, content, also strategy. Obviously, these are just all very quick examples. And now I can actually label each item of the checklist according to these categories that I've created. Now you can also have other sections if you want. So you can have things like the status, dates they should have things done by, any files or medias that you want to attach to this item in the checklist as well. You can go through a lot of different things here, but I'm just going to show you a very brief overview into what you can do. So what I did in this one is I just had the name and then the category, and I've left this open because that way they can open up the individual pages and log things in according to their needs. So nice and simple, creating a checklist can be very valuable for you. Now you also want to have the checkbox, which you can do here. So all I have to do is click on the plus icon, scroll down until I find checkbox, and then you can just call it completed. And what I want to do is I want to have it at the start. So you can do that, and you can just resize it accordingly. You can obviously design this however you want. This is just the way I like to do it. And this is the 3 fundamental areas of a checklist. You want to just have the checkbox, the actual name of the task, and the category if you would like to add that as well. Like I said, you can put more, but this is just a very quick example. So that is option 1. If we go into option 2, it's going to be templates. Notion is very, very well known to create and building templates. There is thousands of templates out there that you can actually purchase, and there are some for free. A lot of people give this away for free as a template, as a lead magnet, and you can solve a specific need for your audience. A very common one would be like a content schedule. That's very common in the marketing industry, where people will build out a content schedule template that every business can just plug and play with and utilize it according to their business needs. So why this works is it offers immediate value by saving time and effort. So building templates in Notion or a database can sometimes take a lot of time, and not many people know how to do it or want to actually spend the time. So if they have a template that they can just download and duplicate to be able to then customize to their needs, it'll be very valuable and beneficial for them. Another good benefit of why this works is users can quickly adapt it to their own workflow, which will make them increase their perceived value of the lead magnet. Like I said, it does take a lot of time to build out databases and templates. So by them being able to just adapt it to their workflow and add it into their, their team's overall work, it'll be very beneficial for them, and they will value that highly. The other thing is, again, this has an open loop, so you can include sections or prompts within a template that references your paid products or services. So if you're giving away a content schedule template, you can then plug your content marketing services, like a done for you service or whatever it may be, in that template, and that way people can contact you as soon as they see how well you've designed this template and database, that they may be wanting you to actually help them execute this content schedule. And you can add things like, want an advanced version, check out, and then you can put your links in the description, put your links in the template section. So like this checklist here, I've got a little call out, which you can see, and I'll show you a template example that I've built, which is a project management template. And this one is a great example of what you can do to have your links in place. So I've got subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I've got my YouTube link here, and subscribe to my newsletter. I've got the website to sign up to my newsletter. So this way, every time I've given away this specific project management template, people will see these links while also being able to use a project management template. Now there's multiple different ways that you can build out Notion templates. This one was just a project management one. Like I said, you can do content schedules, etc. And you can do things, again, this will be involving database views. So if I do another database inline, and then what I will do is I will add another view, and I can do a board view, which will give me kind of this Kanban board that I've done up here. And I'll just call it projects like I have above. Now you can also add different properties. So I can add something like category, like we did before, which you can do in adding an option. And I can do marketing project, content project, operations, you get the point. So now we've got 3 different category options. And then what I want to do here is I don't like the way this is laid out. So what I'll do is I can go to group and group by, instead of status, which is in progress, not started or done, I can group it by category. So now if I was to add a project, so let's just add new project and I'll just call this project 1 and I will label it as marketing. You can now see it's now labeled as per category of what the project is about. So now we've got one marketing project. If I was to do another one, we'll just call this project 2 and I'll label that as operations. And one more just so I can fill up all the categories, project 3, and we'll do this one as content. So now you can see that our project management system, I should say, is labeled into each different category. So you can see I just moved that there. So if I move that back into marketing, that's now categorized accordingly, and you can very easily drag and drop into different sections if you wanted to make any changes. Now you can see here we've got different properties. So we've got the category, we've got the status, so not started, in progress, done. If you do want to label them according to the status, so if you put this one in progress and this one as done, and if you want to change this layout, you can just go back again to here, go to group and group by status. Now your project management template is grouped by status. So if something's not started, obviously it'll be here. If you move it into in progress, it'll show you've now got 2 here, none in not started. If I move that back, you get the point. So now you can create templates for project management, for content schedules, whatever it may be. You can now create templates on. There's obviously going to be a lot more in-depth Notion videos to create specific templates. I'm not going to get into that right now because the video will be too long. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that in the future. But this is how you can create some Notion templates as another lead magnet option. Option 3 is going to be guided workbooks. Now with guided workbooks, it's very simple. It's just a structured workbook with prompts and sections that help users reflect, plan or brainstorm or answer some questions that you might have for them. And why this works is because it provides high free value by getting users through a thought process that they may not have tackled by themselves. So if you were to put a few different important questions in this workbook for them to think about or to plan in their business, they may not have been able to do that unless it was for your templated workbook. Now this also has an open loop, which is obviously a very important factor. Users can see the progress but recognize that they might need more in-depth help. So you can offer consulting services, a course, whatever paid services you may have. After you've given them this workbook with all the different prompts that you've put inside of it, you can then show that you can help a lot more in depth and do this workbook for them rather than them trying to work it out themselves. And you can provide clear next steps such as schedule a free strategy call to refine your brand voice further if I was doing a branding workbook. So you can cater it specifically to what you were actually creating the whole lead magnet on. And that can be in a very simple document format. You can just put in a lot of valuable information as well as prompts that they can use to answer some questions for their business to implement a very similar process that you were teaching in the lead magnet. So these are 3 different ways that you can use Notion to create lead magnets. There are many more different ways that you can do this. These are just 3 of probably the most common options that people use Notion to create lead magnets. So you can get started as soon as possible. It'll probably only take you a few hours of dedicated, focused work to get one of these done, and you can start putting it out there in the public and offering this lead magnet to your audience. Now, if you do want to check out the templates that I've shown you with the strategy checklist as well as a project management template, I will leave them in the description below so you can check them out, duplicate them in your Notion workspace, and you can use them to your benefit also. Now, I'm showing you things that I'm doing directly in my business. This is why I wanted to show you 3 ways that you can build a lead magnet in Notion. I've built some lead magnets in Notion and I'm continuing to do so. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't get overwhelmed with all the different advice out there. Just get started. It'll take you a few hours. Even if it's not perfect, you can continuously improve on it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.